Welcome back to our series on business resilience. And today we're going to be looking at your money-making machine. Remember, business resilience is where we're looking at your business's capacity to withstand or recover in a changing business environment. We're talking about, here's the plan I want to follow. Am I following that plan? Have I been able to stick to that plan even when times are tough? And today we're going to talk about that money-making machine. More often than not, we are here to make money. It might not be the objective of our business. We might have a better objective than simply making money. But more often than not, businesses need money coming in to survive. And we have a machine that we use to make it. Again, more often than not, these machines have three main parts. They have an operations part. This is the part that's doing the doing. This is the part that is making the product, servicing the need, and it is putting goods or services into our consumer, customer, clients' hands. The second part of our money-making machine is administration. This is everything that's going on behind the scenes that helps your operations part make the money. This covers making sure that there is premises available for the operations to take place. This involves making sure that business insurance is covered. This involves making sure that the lights are on, that the taxes have been paid, that the customers are paying you, and that the suppliers and the employees are receiving their money. This covers making sure that the bins are emptied. This covers making sure that everything that needs to be done in order for the operations team to make you money, this is where it's happening. This is where it's happening in what I'm calling the administration part of your money-making machine. And the third part is sales, because it's all very well having a machine that's very effective at turning a customer's need into a good or service. It's all very well having a really slick administration team that are going to make sure that everything that needs to happen happens. But if you don't have customers coming in, then it will be very difficult for you to make money. And so sales is the third key part of our machine. And I'd like you to try and visualize it as a machine where we have sales, operations, and admin. If you can visualize that, you can start to think about the processes that are happening within each of those three sections to make money for you. And there are plenty of books and there are plenty of guides on this. So it's not new what I'm telling you here. It's not something that I've come up with. It's something that is well understood by a lot of people. We have this machine, and within it, there are processes. And I'd like you to look at what your main processes are, because I think there are two ways to run your business. There is, I have a process and I follow it, and there is, let's see what happens today and let's deal with it. One of those is fantastic for building the capacity to deal with change. And surprisingly, it's not let's see what happens and deal with it. It is actually have a process that you follow and you can rely upon. Because this is the thing, if you have a process that you follow and you can rely upon, you can then step back and review whether it's working as well as you need it to. You can then step back and say, well, I've done this 100 times. These times it worked and these times it didn't. Can we tweak our money-making machine so that every time it works well? This is why looking at it as a machine is so great, because it helps you to review, is every part working as efficiently as possible? And just like a machine, you can tweak it. You can tweak it, you can grease it, you can improve one part, and you can see how it impacts upon the whole machine, whether it makes it easier for you to make money or not. And if it's not working, you can fix it. A machine can be fixed. If there's a part that's not working, you can pull that part out and you can replace it with something that will work better. And this might not be a person, this might be a process where you say to someone, I want you to do this, this, this. It might actually be a physical machine. It might be that you need a printer for your job and your printer is letting you down because it overheats and you need one that won't do that. These are parts that you can identify and you can change to make it easier to make money. I'd like to talk to you about something that might go against the grain if you're an innovator. And this is something I've touched on already. I'm looking to make it easier for you to get predictable results by doing the same thing over and over again. This sort of goes against the grain for us innovators, because what we're saying is we need to stop innovating and just repeat something. But yeah, if we've had a good idea and we've turned it into a business, surely that idea deserves a bit of an opportunity to prove that it works in its current form. And as I've said already, by repeating, you will find so many opportunities to tweak. And this is an area that you can innovate. This is an area that you can use those things that got you started in the first place, those innovative ideas, the need to build something new. It's still possible in a machine that repeats a process to produce a predictable outcome. So innovation doesn't disappear, even though it will feel very much as if this is going against the grain of what you want to do. But I tell you something, investors love it. If you are looking for money from the outside to come into your business, from say an investor, from a bank, from a lender, from someone who needs to have trust in you, well, I'd like to go back to those first two people. The person who said, I have a process that I repeat and it consistently makes me money, or I turn up every day and I hope for the best and I deal with problems as they arise. Now, these people might both be great in business, but if I had to give my money to one of them, I feel like I would trust the one that says, I have a process that I repeat and it constantly makes me money. I feel like I would trust them a lot more. So how can we show them that we have this? Define your money-making machine. Write out sales, operations, and admin, and then identify the key processes within these areas that will help you to turn your idea into money consistently. Once you've identified them, write out your little process notes if you'd like, print it off and frame it, stick it on your wall, be proud of it. Make sure that everyone you work with knows about it, because I promise you, it will help them to trust you and it will make it even easier to dependably make money. Let's go back to our definition of business resilience, the ability to withstand and recover in a changing environment. Well, having a machine that consistently produces results, again, is actually a fantastic way to withstand a changing environment. You will, of course, need to innovate, and we've talked about that. So as the environment changes, you will need to update your processes. Never stop doing that. But if you have a dependable process and one of the key parts of your business falls away, your business is much more likely to be able to withstand it. Now, that key part that I'm talking about is you. In a lot of small businesses, the business owner, the director, the person at the top of the tree is the person that the business is most dependent on for its future. If that person were to step away or be unable to work, the business, would it still function? Would the machine still produce those dependable results? Or if this guy who says, I come in the morning, I solve the problems and I go home, but I deal with what happens, if he's not there anymore, will that guy's machine still produce results? Or will it stop? Will it all grind to a halt? Will the machine start crunching, and will there be fires in the operations team, and the sales team have sort of not been putting anything in, so the machine's just not moving as well and there's no fuel for it. Maybe I'm taking the analogy too far. I hope that you understand what I'm saying. If you step away, will your business keep working? Because this is something that can easily happen. Imagination can run wild on it, but it could easily happen if you are poorly, and we've seen a lot of that over the last 2 years as people have had to isolate. When you step away, what happens to your business? If you have a plan, if you have a process, if you have your 3 areas defined and you have a system for each of them that people can follow whether you are there or not, well, that day in bed because you're sick. That 2-week holiday that you'd love to have but haven't been able to have, they all become much easier to do. Not only that, but you have massively built your business's capacity to withstand change. Now, this is also something that our investors like if they are looking to buy your business. And we won't touch too much on this because this is about improving business resilience rather than about building a business to sell. But I can't help but notice that this is one of the things that businesses often need and are missing. So if one day you're thinking it would be nice to sell my business, I promise you it will be much easier to find a buyer and to get the price that you want if you are able to sell them a money-making machine, a framed picture of how you make money. Because if you have that, they know that they are buying the machine, not the director. And when the director, the owner, the key person steps away, it's absolutely possible to put a new part into that machine that will do the job just as well. So, the KPI, the thing that I would like you to be looking at to help you measure your business's resilience. And it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but it's not. I'd like you to think I have a money-making machine and I have a framed picture of my process on the wall. Adapt this one as you like. But what I'm saying is I have a process, and not only I know my process, but all the people I work with know my process. My customers know my process. My suppliers know my process and they're part in my process. And people who are supporting my business know my process. Because if all these people know your process, their trust in you will increase, their trust in your business will increase, and their ability to help you when something changes, when disaster happens, will increase massively. So the KPI I'd like to give you today is, I know my money-making machine and I've got a framed picture of it on my wall. I hope you found this useful, and I look forward to sharing with you the next 3 areas of business resilience that I think we can look at to improve our capacity in the next videos.